All right, Step. We're now down to the mega district, 23-6A, the district that always provides so much talent. And talk to me about who, because none of these teams made it to the state final, and that includes Summer Creek as well. Because 2 years ago it was both of them, Summer Creek and North Shore in the state final. Didn't get anybody in this year. Austin kind of stepped us out in a couple places. Talk to me about what you feel about this district and who may come out on top.
A lot of questions in this district with two of the really big names there in North Shore and Atascocita going into the season. I think if you look at Summer Creek and North Shore, who made it to the semifinals last year, I think if you talk to both coaches, both groups of players, they probably both felt like they let one get away. Especially Summer Creek. I thought they kind of let that game against Vandergrift get away from them. But I thought, credit to Vandergrift, I'm not taking anything away from Drew Sanders Ball Club. I thought Summer Creek was the better team and just kind of let Vandergrift hang around way too long in that game. North Shore, on the other hand, they laid an egg against Westlake. Westlake came out motivated, played a great game, played the game of their lives against North Shore. So North Shore comes back and we start with them. They're the team that everyone's going to talk about. They've got a lot of questions going into 2025. This is going to be a much, much different looking ball club for Willie Gaston's team. Willie Gaston, no less talented, but younger and a lot of new faces. Caleb Maryland's going to step in full-time at the quarterback spot. He's very, very talented. He's got Division I offers. He played well in spot duty last year. I've said it publicly on my podcast, Tep and Step. I thought last year he probably should have been the guy. When I saw him in the game, I thought the offense just was a lot crisper when he was in the game. So now a lot of the pieces around him have to be replaced. They got to replace some guys in the offensive line. But I think at quarterback, North Shore is going to be fine. Caleb Maryland is a dude. Defensively, they lose some pieces. Obviously, you lose Devin Sanchez. You lose the guy who went to LSU. Charles Ross. So you lose some guys, but Desmond Christian is outstanding. And you've got tradition, experience, tradition. North Shore does bring a lot of lettermen back. They bring back 45 lettermen. So they've got a lot of guys back who played last year. They just didn't play key roles. So I got to find those guys to step up and play those key roles. But you've got that tradition. You've got that pedigree there on the east side. So with that, I think you start this district talking about North Shore. And regardless of what they lose, they're still among the favorites, not only in Region 3, but statewide.
What about their counterpart there at Atascocita? They actually have, well, you like Maryland, but I was saying they also have Carday coming back. But is that all they have coming back? Offensive-wise, because I know their speedster and Torrey Blaylock's out.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting for Atascocita. They lose 8 starters on offense. Defensively, they got a lot of guys back. Ravion Sauls, T.J. Bolden, Trenton Blaylock, Jason Johnson, Joshua Banks. They're going to be very good on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, it's going to be interesting because from what I understand, there's a pretty strong likelihood Carday Mack gets moved from quarterback to running back, which is actually probably his more natural position. But he's been the quarterback for Atascocita the last couple of years. But I think they're going to move him to running back where he's more of a natural to replace Blaylock. And they've got a talented junior, Isaiah Rashid, stepping in, looking like he's going to be the guy at quarterback for Craig Stump's ball club. CJ Toney is also back. He's an outstanding playmaker. So Atascocita defensively, they should be improved with 7 starters back, but offensively, a lot of questions. It's going to be, I think they're going to go. They've got to find consistency in the passing game. We know they're going to run the ball. Carday Mack is unbelievable with the ball in his hand, but they've got to be able to get some consistency in the passing game, and I think that's why they're going with Rashid at quarterback, because he's more of a natural passer. Carday Mack evolved into a competent passer last year, but that's not his forte. So we'll see what happens with Atascocita.
What do you think about Summer Creek? I mean, you mentioned that game against Vandergrift. It's one of the few times me and you were both at a game together, and yeah, they started off great. How long is it going to take for them to bounce back from that one?
I love this Summer Creek offense. I think it might be among the best offenses in the entire state of Texas. You've got 4 wide receivers who are capable of making plays. They combined for 36 touchdown catches last year. You got Holden Miller. You got Benny Easter. You've got the Brown the Brown kid as well. And you've got Jones as well. So you got 4 guys who caught a combined 36. Jamaica Jones is the name.
Yeah, and Larry Trey Brown, right?
Yeah.
Larry Trey.
And so you've got 4 receivers. Yeah, Larry Brown, sorry. 4 guys who caught 36 touchdowns last year. You've got Causey back at running back. Braylon Causey had 11 touchdowns rushing last year, and you've got Jackson back at running back who ran for 7 touchdowns last year. They are loaded offensively. They had a big question mark at quarterback. We were like, who is going to be the quarterback for the Bulldogs? Well, that question's been answered because Noah Spinks, the quarterback from Flower Mound, who was outstanding as a sophomore last year for the Jaguars, moved to the Houston area and is going to be at Summer Creek next year. All the paperwork is in. He's probably going to be the guy at quarterback. So that question's been answered. This Summer Creek offense could be one of the best in the state of Texas. They are going to score points in bunches. Defensively, they should be okay. I think they got to replace some pieces on the defensive side of the ball. They bring 5 starters back. Amontre Harris is the guy to keep an eye on here. He had 59 tackles and 10 sacks last year, and Tyson Joyner had 101 tackles last year. Those 2 guys are going to lead that defense. But the big key for Summer Creek, youth in the secondary. I think they're going to be talented, but they're going to be young in the secondary. So how does that young secondary grow up? If the Summer Creek secondary grows up and matures, I think this is a team that can beat anyone in the state of Texas, regardless. Division I,
possibly take this district crown.
I think absolutely they could take the district crown. They are that talented this year.
Excellent. Well, the last 2 teams that were fighting for the playoff spot last year, and you told us in week 4, keep an eye on Kingwood. Not only we keep an eye on them to make the postseason, they made a sweet little run there too. Talk about Kingwood and C.E. King and which team may prevail for that 4th spot.
Kingwood had a magical run last year. They bring back Landon Henson, their quarterback, who had a great sophomore season. Really played well in district. He's working behind a great offensive line. Kennedy Brown, Hudson Mock up front, outstanding bookends there in the trenches. They got to replace a lot of production there in the running game. That's going to be key for them. And then defensively, I think they'll be very good. You got Cade Hogg back there. I believe it's Hogg, maybe Hogue. But Cade Hogue, 152 tackles last year as a sophomore. He started for them as a freshman. He's the total package. He's an incredible athlete. He's also their anchor on the relay teams on track. I mean, you don't see that from a linebacker running anchor leg on relays during track season. So, and they've got a safety, Sam Peterson, great ball hawk. He was second in the district in interceptions. He had 7 picks last year. So that's big. They got to replace 3 offensive linemen and they got to find a running back. But I think Kingwood's going to be right there in the mix. And I think, C.E. King got new coach Corey Laxton coming in. Former North Shore guy. They got 7 starters back. Last year was a big disappointment, missing the playoffs. But I think that they're poised for a bounce back. You mentioned Deion Sims, one of the most electric players in the state of Texas, a 2-time all-district selection. They're going to lean on him quite a bit. Braylon Lane, LeJarrette Clark at the receivers are going to be outstanding. And they've got a guy on the defensive line, Dominic Toulon, who had 11 sacks last year. Moves really well, really quick, and they've got a great secondary as well. So C. King's got some pieces as well. Then you look at, Humboldt is probably a tough luck 6th place team. I think Robert Murphy's ball club is going to be better as well. Vincent Joseph, Jaden Heaton, Duran Wilmore. Humboldt's got a lot of players back. They're going to be a very good team. They're just in the wrong district. You put Humboldt in a lot of other districts, they're a district title contender. Right. And in this district, they're probably only outside looking in. Yeah, they're an afterthought, unfortunately. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I think Robert Murphy's a good coach, and he has a good team. They are just in a brutal district.
All right, give me your 1 through 8.
Let's go North Shore 1, Summer Creek 2, Atascocita 3. I'm going to give Kingwood the benefit of the doubt and give him the 4 spot. I didn't pick him to make the playoffs last year, so Coach Binky got on me last year, so this year we're picking him to Coach Bentz, not Binky. Coach Binky's at Arlington again. Coach Bentz got on to me about that. So I'm picking Kingwood 4th, C. King 5th, Humble 6th, Channelview 7, and then Goose Creek Memorial, their new head coach, Jamon Cleveland, at the 8th spot.